Good evening. I'd like to call to order this Board of Education meeting for March the 21st of 2021, 22, excuse me, to order. And the time is 6 p.m. Glad to see everybody. Almost full house. We're going to have to have some more seats or go on. All right. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. It's an action item. So I need a motion to approve the agenda.
President Bear said, I mean, we accept the agenda as presented.
It's been moved and second to accept approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, the good stand for a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's take a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, item number 4, 4.1 is the minutes from the board meeting on February the 22nd. 4 of you were absent, so this is going to be a 3-0 vote. It's an action item. Recommended action is to approve the minutes for February the 22nd, 22.
This is Kim Hopkins. I move that we approve the minutes of the February 22nd, 22 board meeting.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes for February the 22nd of 22 board meeting. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. 4.2 is minutes from the public workshop on March the 7th of 2022. All were present at that board meeting. Recommended action is approval of the minutes for 3/7/22 board meeting.
President Bear said, I mean, we accept the minutes from the public meeting 3/7/22.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the board minutes for 3/7/22 public meeting. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item number 5 is public participation. We have no forms received. Blue slips turned in as of Friday, so we'll move on. Next part of our agenda is reports and presentations. The first one is 6.01 is awards and presentation. We'll turn the floor over to Mrs. Simmons.
I want to take a moment to thank the contractor slash driver who has been with me for thick and thin. But I did a little bit of research and found out that she has been in the Secret School District driving kids for 38 years. Calling our kids to and from safely, always. You can always come out for anything. So we want to thank you for 38 years of putting up with us. So we love you. We miss you. We also have said that nobody else can retire this year. So right. So we want to make sure that we have
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Here's what. Allison actually sold her bus out for this informational piece. The new contractor is Donovan and Edna Jenkins. They're contractors out of Goodrich, and so they purchased her bus. And Edna is a new bus driver for 19 now, so she's driving her for us, and they may try to contribute to the name that they together with them. But Donovan and Edna Jenkins have purchased it, and they are now the contractors for the Seaver schools.
Very good. Very good.
Find it on that.
She got a week full of kindergarten.
Congratulations, Allison, on behalf of the board. Thank you.
She wants to go.
You know what, Paul? All right, we have a couple of awards that we want to present for community involvement with the district. And the first one present here is shipwreck penny golf. Just check it out. One coming forward, please. Check it out. Organized, sponsored all Thursday night dinners for our football team. And the football team and Coach Quillen appreciate everything you're doing for the team this school year and serve the board. Congratulations.
And just so everybody knows, it's an absolute honor to help with the football program. The kids are nothing but appreciative. They get a lot, they end up getting ice cream for dessert a decent amount of time, but other businesses in the Seaford area sponsor different meals also. And then a lot of parents chip in, but the kids are all very appreciative and say thank you. And, you know, when we pull in, they're quick to start carrying stuff in and helping and so forth. So, just in case anybody doesn't know, it's nice to see the kids really appreciate it and they like to eat. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next one is for Pizza King Greg Maynham, and I don't think he's here tonight, but we want to recognize Greg Maynham from PK sponsored all Friday Night Field for the entire season. Has been a great supporter. The football team and appreciate everything that he has done for the team this school year. So Greg Maynham. Connecting the community involvement, Fleet, Joy, Oliver.
Two.
Joy is a 1997 graduate of Seaford High School. I am also, so is everybody on the board of graduates. Not with me, I'm not, but it's Joy's parents. Oh, okay.
That's okay.
All right. Organize the funds to see where that's what we. Coach Evans and she's the one, but they told me someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we are thankful for the young lady. And I'm glad you represent.
Yes.
So this is the certificate of recognition that you will pass on to Shore, please.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And I'd like to say that it is an attitude of gratitude that we accept this presentation on behalf of Joy Oliver Hunter. And she really is a true DJ to the heart and love Coach Evans and team and will do anything that she can for them. So again, we say, that's okay.
Thank you. And anybody, the board presentation, presenting, you don't have, not forced to stay. You want to. Leave whenever you feel.
Real quickly, Mr. Hall, so for the board, we have Dara Wall Savage, from that is Ms. Jake Paul, the board president, Corey Nicholas is our superintendent, Troy Canal, and then Jeff Benson, who I believe Mr. Jenkins, you're already aware of this as well. He's our new contractor. Per license, so we might have another one coming along also.
That's good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right, very good. Being able to present to the board presentation is one of the benefits of being in this position. I appreciate everybody's work that's been involved in any of these. We all appreciate it. All right, Superintendent Communications, Dr. Nichols.
Thank you. I do have a few updates for the board. First competition day for spring sports. And I was able to walk outside with Mr. Cameron and watch our middle school girls soccer team play. They were playing SAS. And it was SAS 5. So that was great. And I was there for when we scored our first goal, and they were really excited. That's a big day for our high school. I know one thing we posted on our website, a video just to try to pump up our juniors. A lot of work has been done to get our students prepared from day one of school. So back in August, just trying to get the students. So focused with the importance of what this means, not only for them, but also for the district. So we wish all our juniors good luck on Wednesday. So this Friday, This is a really big topic nationally. And they're bringing in a speaker to really talk through just some ideas and strategies to help with this. And, some of the information we are hearing that in 2026, Maryland will have a starting salary of $60,000 a year for teachers. So our current salary, bachelor's with zero, $43,000. So there's a pretty big gap there. And we know, for us, we're really close to the Maryland line here. So this is something that the state is taking a look at. And they're trying to look at some legislation around forming a committee, statewide committee to take a look at this. And so one thing is salary is you could go to any national conference, local conference, and it's just about the teachers, whether it be substitute teachers, trying to find math teachers, special education teachers. We know that's a problem. COVID did not help. It just really drove.
You're at 25 years.
So, and I think the discussion is around $1,000 here, $1,500 there. It's not going to bring teachers in the profession. It's not going to hold them in the profession. So we're excited about this professional development series. Will bring us hopefully we learn some strategies and techniques. But again, it's something that the state's going to be wrestling with in the next few years. I do have a few school updates. One that I'll share actually with President Douglas is they completed their lead assessment and students celebrated with a soccer clinic. So the high school boys soccer team coach went over with Fred and ran a clinic for the students. So I always love students giving back. I also know our basketball team in the middle school put on a dunk test, if I'm correct. So I'm sure they were really excited about that.
They were.
So it's always great when our students can give back to our younger secret school district students. Sometimes they may not realize that the role models. So actually kindergarten registration has kicked off. I know both West and Blaze have started doing activities at their school. And actually, Kim Simmons, you shared some really cool pictures from Blaze. That was nice. We had some students from the high school helping out. We had different tables set up. So we're trying to bring our community and parents in earlier. I'm sure when you drive around, see some of our big flyers up. They look really sharp. Some of them are new, I've noticed, which is pretty cool. I like the colors. So that's going well for us. And also, this is something that's been on our website as well. And I like Dr. Snyder's emails. Talks about the Western has proudly accepted yet another grant award school. So Jordan Forston, Shoes for the Soul program is one of the Hertford's Cat for Class program winner. He received a $1,000 check to support his efforts earlier this school year. The Hertford team loved the idea of the program so much that they decided to present our school with another $2,000 to help Jordan grow Shoes for the Soul. So that's really exciting. And when you have a staff member going out of his way to really take care of some of our students in need. So it's a very popular program at West. So I want to highlight that. This weekend, we found out that our culinary arts program was first place in the management division. They will be attending nationals in DC, which is in May. I'd also just like to congratulate the basketball team. They made the semifinals at the University of Delaware. Lost a tough game to Tower Hill, who actually went on to win the entire championship. But it was really great to see our students at the University of Delaware. And it was also really great to see the amount of fans, season fans that traveled up. So exciting night, even though it didn't go the way we wanted it to go. Also, just two other updates from our high school. Key Club is collecting canned food and new socks. 60 years of Key Club at Secret High School. And also 9 new members of the National Honor Society have been inducted. So there's some of the updates from our school to share as well.
Thanks very much for all that good news at the district. Very good. All right, the next item is board communication. I have a few things I need to bring to my colleagues' attention tonight as far as board communications, and most of it is about the board of directors meeting that we had on Wednesday, March the 2nd. John pointed out pretty much at the beginning of the meeting that the State Board of Education currently has 5 charter school applications underway for this, for decision this spring. 2 of them are new charter schools. One is in Newark and the other one is in Suffolk County. One in Suffolk County, you probably all knows that the Brian Allen Stevenson School, that's, so they'll be considering that. They also have to make a decision on 2 major modifications with charters. One of those is the Alonzo Charter and the other one is the Eastside Charter. And then the 5th one would be one minor modification they have with Odyssey Charter School. So the school board will be working, the state school board will be working on that. Then we moved on. This board of directors meeting, we had the Treasury Report. Everything I will say again is good with the FDA, and the revenue and expenditures are in line with budgeted expectations. And then we moved to committee reports. The executive director gave his report, and we discussed it briefly with no questions. Basically, what he does, he outlines what he's been doing with the legislation or other meetings. One thing he's been working on is helping Caesar Rodney with superintendent selection. Then President Ackerman provided a report. Just a second, I gotta find where I had this outlined here. President Ackerman provided the board of directors a report of his meeting with NSBA regarding the state of NSBA and the path forward to rebuild relationship and their credibility. If you recall, there was a letter that the SBA sent out without members really giving approval of that. President Biden back several months ago. President Ackerman reiterated that the SBA's response to the said letter and our position of strong opposition to it. I would say that we have a new, also a new executive director from Kansas that's on the National School Board Association. And of course, some of us will be going out there to San Diego week after next for the national convention. Then there was legislative committee reports, and the legislative committee presented their meeting minutes, and they were discussed, which included all of the positions and that we took on the bill. After a brief discussion, that was passed. They have to be passed by our board of directors. And then under old business, John gave us a little bit of an update on the special education due process training that was given back in November of 2021. And he said that the training was very successful and a lot of positive comments were received. And then John also gave us an update on the NSBA National Convention in San Diego. He reported, and I think this still stands from what I received this week, there's about 30-some people from the state of Delaware that are going to the convention in San Diego. And there will be a state dinner on Friday night in San Diego for all the Delaware people that are going or there for the convention. Then we move to new business in the board of directors meeting. There was a developing issue of charter schools. The developing issue of charter schools submitting tuition tax bills to DOE was forwarded those bills to the districts without approval and was discussed in great detail. Dr. Mannincher reported that the district CFOs are taking the lead on addressing these unsupported tuition tax bills. Mainly, this is from the charter schools in Newcastle County. I don't think it really applies to us, but there was quite a bit of discussion about that, and John is definitely monitoring and reporting on any issues developed there. And then John also talked about the fiscal year 23 governor's recommended budget. That was discussed, and using a handout of the budget, we highlighted the things there. The main thing was that we discussed for the transportation formula increases. And also, Dr. Marinucci also discussed the SBA's public comments forwarded to JFC, asking for the elimination of the 26 million budget giveback. And then the last thing on the new business, John talked about the fiscal year 23 capital budget, pointing out that this year, the amount that's being requested is the largest capital budget dedicated to school construction and renovation in history. The MCI budget request was discussed and indicated that he has continued, John, has continued discussion with selected bond bill committee members and from the levels to $50 million. And then the last thing is roundtable discussion. John pointed out to all board members to be tolerant, accepting, and respectful with and for their fellow board members and in board meetings, especially now when there is so much division in society right now. He pointed out we lost one member upstate on the board that's been representing us for some time because of interest that he felt that the board wasn't following. And he decided to step down. And as John said, and I told him, we can disagree without being disagreeable. John has said that a number of times, and I totally agree. The other thing I just received today from John, there is a bill that's coming out, House Bill 353, and this bill probably pertains mostly to Newcastle County, but and it's an act asking to pause the granting of new charter schools and modifications of charter schools in Newcastle County. In other words, it's probably going to issue a moratorium on having new schools coming out in Newcastle County. I know you're all familiar that I can't remember the exact number, but there's between 30 and 40 charter schools up in Newcastle County. I mean, we're fortunate down here in Sussex County. I say fortunate because I'm not a charter school advocate, of course, but we only have two. So, well, I guess we might have three. I don't know if there's three. But again, maybe we ought to ask for this moratorium to be across the state too. I don't know. But for now, I just want to bring to your attention that this House Bill 353, and he put this out to all of us today. And he's planning to speak in favor of the bill, but not generally per se that he's against charter schools. And we're not against schools. I mean, it's just they can do us sometimes. All right. The last thing, the next board of directors meeting will be May the 4th. The next board of directors meeting is April the 27th. And of course, I already mentioned that the NSBA conference is coming up week after next. Myself, Dr. Nicholas, and Ms. Hopkins. Mrs. Hopkins will be in San Diego from April the 1st to April the 4th. Yeah. And that's all I have. Do you have any questions? Thank you so much. Moving on to the next presentation would be 6.04, middle school literacy curriculum. And I will turn the floor over to Mr. Kelleher.
Hi, good evening. So I have the honor to talk to you about middle school literacy curriculum. And I'm here today because I think it's really important to keep sharing the work that we're doing to advance teaching and learning in secret school districts. That's why we're all here. And we've done some really good work. We've received leadership at teachers in the school around literacy. And I'd like to start off with our goal. And our goal starts with at the leadership level, because leadership sets the vision for the work that gets done in schools. And this is a common goal for literacy district-wide. And we've developed a leadership cohort, K-8, to support the shared vision offered through the bookworms, literacy curriculum that we use in kindergarten through 8th grade as our high quality instructional material. And we use common resources across all of those grade levels. And it's really important that our leaders work together to support the implementation in their school. And then we have a shared vision of what high quality professional learning, what high quality teaching, and what high quality student outcomes all look like. And so I don't know, do you want to talk a little bit about that leadership cohort a little bit?
Oh, sure. Just that, you know. I think for us, the beginning, we started this 2 years ago in bookworms. I think they probably Kelly came to me, I went and talked to them, the principals, great stuff. They were building the part, you know, as we were trying to drive it last year, in a lot of ways. And what we learned from that experience though was that the information we're getting, what I was seeing in the classroom is completely different than what I've seen before. And I've seen more of a focus on actual reading, close syllables, focus syllables, like teachers. For the first time, there's a lot of times degrees in literacy or their degrees, their content math, but they don't come out with the basic reading fundamentals. And that's what we're going to take us back a little bit and teach us some of those sounds and using those, you know, sturdy sentences and things like that to really move our kids along in a faster way. And then being part of the leadership, so we're working with the elementary school principals and listening to some of that stuff, just listening to it. And whenever she says, do it this way, or you get yelled. So I took that to heart and try to listen. And they were great partners with us as well. But just as we need to go through, like, it's trying to be where they are and realize we're not there yet. And like we had the first meeting, so like I'm not the same place they are yet. We'll catch up fast, but we're not there yet. So when we made a shift this year to some more writing goals, we kind of stayed back. We want to really finish this work because this is our first time going through a complete cycle of bookworm. Doing all 4 books. We got all 4 books on every grade level this year. Last year we got through 3 in most grade levels, so we're very excited about the fact we picked up the pace. We cut out some of the other stuff that we didn't need, and we're constantly revising. Right? They constantly work with us, they're coaching, talking to us, and meeting with us, and the leadership gives us a chance to actually sit down within it as well and say, this is what's working, this is like we're kind of confused by this. But it's been a great experience so far, and I know the program like starts and officials run now. Like, oh, we want next year. We want to try it next year. But hopefully we'll have a leg up on all them. We started early. So the results last year, showed an increase in our ALA scores, and we attribute a lot of that to what we're doing for, and we're looking forward to see what it does this year as well. Fingers crossed. Everybody's going in the right direction, so we're certainly encouraged by everything.
Well, thank you for speaking about leadership framework and support, because what I wanted to communicate is that we set this up as we're a learning organization. Students are learning, the teachers are learning, and our leaders are learning. And the only way that we all can learn together is if we collaborate, we meet, and we talk about what we need to change, what we need to do differently. And so providing those opportunities is really important. Everyone has room to grow. And I know that Mr. Kay talked about what he's learned from some of the elementary principals, but I would say that they also have learned a lot from him. We do walkthroughs in each other's schools to observe the students learning. We analyze student work. So in looking at what they're doing in 8th grade and what they're doing in kindergarten, we really watching from each other. So I wanted to point that out as a really important part of our strategy. Just that it's not just about the students, but it's also about the adult learning. So this next slide, I really believe in this quote. Knowledge is very powerful. And as educators, it's our job to advance knowledge every single day. And the way that we do that with literacy is through reading and writing about text and doing written responses to text, because that way students are synthesizing and responding to text and doing some critical thinking. So Bookworms Middle School is something that we piloted. We started the pilot last year. This year is the beta pilot. And so the exciting thing about that is that our work with Seaford Middle School is informing the curriculum. Now, while that's exciting, it also is challenges because the curriculum is changing as our teachers have been doing that, which is really fun. It's that iterative process of we give feedback and they say, oh, that's really valuable. Let's take it back and let's incorporate that into the curriculum. So it's really nice to be on that ground floor, but it also invites well, it's part of that learning process, right? So we're engaging in that learning process with the University of Delaware. Bookworms Middle School is our tool to develop knowledge. That previous slide is all about knowledge and how we need to be building knowledge in everything we do. Well, through literacy, Bookworms Middle School is our tool to do that. And it is research-based, it's rigorous, and it's thematically based. And so these themes, developing identity, understanding others, and learning to advocate, are the themes across 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. One of the other really powerful things about Bookworms Middle School is the evidence-based routines and strategies that are incorporated throughout the design of the curriculum. And this is throughout everything that we do every single day, reading, writing, and discussion. These evidence-based routines support the transfer of knowledge into critical thinking and then the application of that knowledge and critical thinking in the text-based, evidence-based writing that students are required to do regularly. And that this transition supports the transfer of knowledge and skills that students develop in Bookworms Elementary into what they can do and know and show that they're able to do in middle school. So that's part of the design, the coherent design of moving from Bookworms Elementary into Bookworms Middle School, so that there is an easy transfer of those knowledge and skills. So this is just showing you the texts that are included in grade 6 developing identity. And actually, because of the feedback that we've given, actually the endangered book was moved to 7th grade, correct?
That's correct.
Right, and so this slide, there's 4 books, and the books are accompanied by text. So they're not just reading these novels, but they're also reading nonfiction, complementary text. Sometimes they are primary source documents that are related to the themes of the text. to develop background knowledge and develop their skills to increase their students' critical thinking and stimulate discussion in the classroom. So we're really trying to engage students to have a curious approach to literacy. And this is just the same for our grade 7. The books are really interesting. You can see that the rigor comes through not just in the lexile levels, but also the content and the themes that they're going to develop. And here is the 8th grade textbooks. And I have had the pleasure of, this year I made it my goal to read every single one of these books. And I would tell you, Shipbreaker, I would really recommend that book. It's so interesting. It's a futuristic novel and it takes place in the New Orleans area, and it's really fascinating. So these books are not only engaging and interesting to our students and bring a diversity of thought and perspective, but they also offer the opportunity for a high volume of reading students, which is something new in our curriculum, is that we're having the kids are reading every single day, and they're reading rigorous text. Emerald, do you want to mention anything about the books before we move on to professional learning? How are the students reading the text?
Very broad. I mean, obviously, the lifestyle level. So what's interesting when you see the lifestyle level, the text itself is pretty low, but then the only material is usually a lot higher, and they play that balance out.
And the content in that particular book is very
Yeah, so our aim is to be a little bit more just much start and when I look at the order this year as well, if you look back most of our kids find the books very interesting and they really enjoy reading them. What's nice, we have the partnership with libraries so they can actually get the books online as well, so they can read them at home if they want. And sometimes kids start to read who went home and read the entire book of The World Without Fish, but they just got into it, they come and read it, and then came back and still read the classmates. But we're finding those things. I'm seeing more engagement program than I've seen before. Because it requires people to talk. It requires people to do this, and it's a set time. So teachers have to come out and this is what you have to do. The routines are expected. The routines match the same routine they've been doing in 5th grade, 4th grade. And so the kids doing better in 1st year than the people. So like, oh, you want us to do this? You got to go that way. Okay, we know how to do the better. We know how to do it. So we're finding the interesting our kids right there, our students right there. So we can pretty pleased with that. We did have some questions about some of the books in the order. And each 7th grade had like 6 books on this. And so we changed some of those around so we get a little more bang for our buck with the 7th grade. But right now they're really I haven't heard anything negative about any of the books throughout the school year.
Yeah, and the kids really thrive on the routines the instructional strategies and routines, because that is predictable, but then the text changes every day. And so they can have security in the routine is going to be the same, but then it frees up their minds to think critically about the text and start talking about the text. So let's move on to professional learning. So as I start off with leadership professional learning, obviously there is teacher professional learning, and these goals are similar to what we have for our leadership goals. This professional learning is really designed to promote collaboration and collaborative planning. We know that everyone is stronger and instructional delivery is more equitable. Plan together. So a lot of that professional learning is designed so that we can get groups of teachers together to plan and talk about how things are going in the classroom, how we can make things better. And I've seen so many gains in PLCs this year. And I've seen them working together and also making the work lighter because they're all sharing the work. This is also really supportive of developing that shared vision so that everyone knows what everyone is doing. We have defined goals and high expectations for everyone. And then my final slide is around, these are, the goals are the same as what was on the previous slide, but these are the strategies that we use during professional learning, just like we do with students. In working with adults, we use a variety of strategies that are differentiated for our staff members. We partner with the University of Delaware to support them in this work. The work is hard, but it's also really valuable. And do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I have to say that, when you come to this, where we're recent growth for us. With the coaching, we had a bunch of coaches start here, we lost her, she got very good motion, we started to see her lead. We're hoping that position is still there for next year as well. We know what a critical role that played in our program. So when we work with our University of Delaware coach, we have them for 28 days this year, so a real commitment by us. So I think we University of Delaware leader to help us with that. Our teachers always have the same plan, they all plan together. If you walk into any of our 7th grade ELA classrooms, you'll be seeing the same thing. I'm sorry. I'm not. And so we'll say, one thing we did is all our engineering, they're all studying the same way. We all do the same PLC, we do the same. We're doing lessons for Rita and giving them feedback. And it's not evaluating it. And then we talk about she is a development support. I don't go in the classroom and watch the same thing she does because we want people to go in there, be themselves, and allow her to allow them to grow. So her observation of feedback is completely separate of the evaluation piece of what I do. And then the calibration sessions are awesome. They bring student work to every PLC, and we sit and talk about it. And we try to set goals on how to get our kids better at it. And then we also, sit around ourselves like crazy. Okay. Well, everybody brings good stuff. You bring your good stuff and your bad stuff and your good stuff. And we're gonna pass them on to somebody else. Well, on the using this group, it's pretty great. And then we can all on the same page and walk out like this and consistent messages from our kids across the board in each grade. And then data work next time for us anyway. We're a data-driven district. We found more ways, we got more data, do the enterprise reports and all that stuff, and all the smart stuff that we're doing. We use all that data every day to try to drive our kids success in the school. Our teachers have gotten a lot better. We're a little shaky, but we've gotten better. We've trained our teachers. We've turned over some teachers as well and bring new people in and retrain. But our teachers are getting better at using and setting this plan. At the end of the day, it's always something we have to have something that they're using for us to show us they're using it the best way possible.
Thank you. And I just want to close with, I brought this forward to share this presentation with you, to spotlight on teachers in the school and leadership of Mr. Cave, because he's not afraid to pilot challenging curriculum that's going to increase the rigor at a time when a lot of people are saying there's so many gaps. And we believe that we're not going to remediate, but we're going to accelerate students' learning. And the way that you challenge students is not by going in and trying to go down to a lower level, but you raise people up by giving them the opportunity to try something that is going to motivate them, challenge them, and support them. And then at the same time, we provide this teacher professional learning to support that transition. So thank you, Mr. Cave. for not being afraid of that challenge. When we came to him and said, hey, you want to try this? He said, yes, even though it was during a pandemic, we're doing it. And the kids are benefiting. We are seeing the evidence of the student learning. Any questions for me?
I have just a couple. Professional learning is more.
Yes.
You mentioned that they're doing some different things with the accompanying materials, and I know you and I had some conversations last year regarding the professional development with some of these sets. How is it this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of attention to developing the cultural responsiveness of our educators because some of the actually abused, right? And that's why I made a commitment to reading every single book so that I could speak to that as I'm attending PLCs and attending training. And I know that Mr. Kinney is also attending that. But our University of Delaware partners have also been really thoughtful in the they have another word for it, it's really fancy, but when they start unpacking the lessons and doing that collaborative planning, they do some lesson rehearsal, which is something that they hadn't done the previous year, to talk about, okay, what is this going to look like when we're in front of kids? Because I think that oftentimes people are really good at imagining what something's going to look like when it's just living in their head. But then when they're actually speaking the words in front of other people, it doesn't land the same way. And so we've been spending more time, not only on in-service days, but in small groups during collaborative planning time where there's some lesson rehearsal. And I think that that's really helped with some of those sensitive topics because the books, in order to engage and interest middle school kids, you've got to talk about things that are on their mind. And sometimes those things that are on their mind are going to stimulate discussion. And as you can see from the text, we're not afraid to broach some topics, which is a good thing, but you also have to deal with sensitivity and making sure that everything is said in context to make everyone feel safe to share their ideas.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. We have some wrong about it. My second question is because of bookworms, I know the elementary organization talked a lot about systematic chronological awareness just interspersed awareness. Does the second level, the middle school level, address that as well? So like vocabulary development or does it not?
So there is a systematic process for both vocabulary development and sentence structure. So, and it's a more age-appropriate, developmentally appropriate strategy because they are adolescents versus more younger learners. So, but there are protocols for how we introduce vocabulary that are evidence-based, and there are and also contextual-based. So you'll see in a bookworms classroom, there are word walls on the room, but they are connected to text. They're not just words. So, and then there's always a protocol for how the teacher introduces those words and then invites students to think about the word families connected to those words and to expand their vocabulary. There's also a protocol called sturdy sentences, which is the middle school model for what we do in elementary school, which is the that is so. Yeah. And in middle school, they do sturdy sentences. And again, it's take that foundation that they've developed in middle school and coherently lift them up to doing something stronger because the middle school is that bridge and then they're going through high school. And so we want it to be developmentally appropriate while also recognizing and building upon the foundation that they've learned in elementary. Yeah. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Cade, for your remarks. This curriculum in the middle school, the book from middle school. Very informative. Thank you again. All right, 6.05, the next presentation is ECF-R Energy Conservation, and I will turn that over to Mr. Doug Henry.
You want to take the call?
You can take it.
Okay. So basically,
But I will say that. Very right. Very well, and they do the policy we're about to discuss in terms of
so that's a lesson learned. About that right? So we bumped it down there. You got the box. So basically, we just take the word and what was in there, and it was basically like supervisors and stuff like that. But the one major thing that we did adjust a little bit was coordination between me and the principal when we go ahead and make that change over. And as we all know, and we talked about it, I think in the last review, we have a two-pipe system, so it's really hard to make that call when we change over. But we have to do it building by building. Like a building, he's got a third floor up there, which is 10 degrees difference than the first floor. So central, some of the elementary schools, we change them over more early because we don't have that to worry about. But if it gets a warm day in the fall, spring, it can be pretty hot there on the third floor. So we try to keep that in mind. Most of the time, that's the last building. But pretty much that's the extent of the temperature control. But then also we did some of the conservation, changed a few things in there. One of the big things was any additional labor not supplied by the district will be making sure that it's eligible if they bring it in. So little land, stuff like that. Just energy conservation is what we're going after. Projects we've done, we've upgraded everything in LED as far as the light bulbs and all that stuff. Taking all that stuff over to LED. So it just makes sense to make sure that when staff are bringing in outside sources of electric, they should use the same thing, keep the same thing. Any questions on any of that? All right, thank you.
Thank you. 6.06 is EF-R food services, and that is.
So this reflects the policy where we changed the and reduce meals. We are striking the word and reduce.
Okay, both of these are just regulations, so we don't have to vote on anything. It's just for information to know what we are doing and having to change. In the food services, EF-R, that's all we have to cross out. And then 6.07 is ADF wellness policy. And we will be doing a first reading on this later. So Mrs. Brennan, you want to present? Or is Mrs. Kirby? Okay, that's fine.
We changed the wording. Some of it was outdated and we took into consideration. I asked everyone who was on the board, on the committee, we have asked for their input. And with their input, because I remember the last time the loan policy was developed, there was a lot of discussion and conflict. And so I wanted the input before I started looking at it and putting it together. And there was a lot of good input from people on the committee. We had a committee meeting, it went very well. There was still a lot of input from that meeting also. And so from those meetings, and the one thing that I really the wellness policy, we did not have at all in the wellness policy, which is
a lot within the past few years, looking at student mental health and what we do for the overall wellness of our students. And so we added some information on that. So people knew that we took that very seriously for our students. Where I'm sure they knew we did it, but at least now they have it in the policy form.
And just, as a point of information, the wellness policy is something that we've been approved every 3 years. I will say that the committee this time tried to narrow it to the focus of what was actually required by USDA. The last time the wellness policy was done was 2018. It was also the first time the wellness policy was done. So there really wasn't much of a roadmap, where this time around, we're able to have 3 years of experience and feedback from schools under our belt and take those suggestions into account.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kirby and Brennan. All right, 6.08 is updated elementary and secondary school emergency relief construction project waiver. I think that's a one page that's in the handouts here. Mrs. Brennan and Mr. Henry.
Yeah.
They won't.
So, you originally approved this, and this was sent on to the Office of Management Budget Department of Education and the Controller General's Office on July 28th of 2021. However, at this time, our total budget for these projects is going to be $6.672 million. It is now going to be 7.358549. So the only thing that is being updated here is we are utilizing our real numbers and conveying those to the groups.
Okay, very good. Somebody have any questions? No. All right, let's move on to the agenda action items. The first one would be ADF wellness policy that we just heard the information and changes there. The recommended action is to approve the first reading of the ADF wellness policy.
This is Derek Savage. I move we accept the first reading of the ADF wellness policy. This is Kim Hopkins, I second.
It's been moved and second to approve the first reading of ADF wellness policy. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Policy IJNDB, the use of technology resources in construction. We heard about this, the first reading, the previous board meeting. So this is the second reading on this policy. Unless anybody has any other questions about it.
It doesn't have to be. Remember, for us to do a second reading to the other.
So we did this at the previous board meeting.
Right, so we don't need to have it before.
I mean, we can have someone explain something if you need to. Okay. So as I said, this is the second reading. Recommended actions include the second reading of policy IJNDB, use of technology resources in instruction.
This is Kim Hopkins, and I move that we approve the second reading of policy IJNDB, use of technology resources and instruction.
Mr. Troy Cornell, second.
It's been moved and second to approve the second reading of policy IJNDB, use of technology resources in instruction. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. 7.03, the next action item is school choice. You have the applications in your agenda. There are 4. Recommended action is to approve the school choice application 2022-23-9 through 2022-23-12.
This is Derek Savage. I move to approve this application, school choice application 2022-23-9 through 2022-23-12. This is Kim Hopkins, and I second.
It's been moved to second to approve the school choice applications 2022-23-9 through 2022-23-12. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. 7.04 is field trip. You have a field trip agenda. I believe you will find that there are 4 field trips on that agenda. Oh. Caught me again.
You got it.
All right, there's my mistake. There are 7 field trips. I don't see any need to look through those unless someone has a particular question about those. Some of these I did notice that I've seen the original 4 was getting some kids out since it's been a long time since going on field trips with the situation that we've been in the last couple of years. So it's good to see that we're getting back out. So moving on, if there's no questions on those, the recommended action is to approve the field trip agenda as presented.
I'm not saying that I move that we approve the field trip agenda as presented.
It's been moved and second to approve the field trip agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. 7.05 is facility request. There are no facility requests to take action on. 7.06 is 2022-2023 school calendar. And I will turn that over to Dr. McPherson.
Mr. Cameron, talk through that for us tonight.
Okay. Mr. Cameron, you have the floor.
Thank you. Apologize for my standing for our first trial. I'll keep you around. So July, we have the Independence Day off. So we come to August, doing something a little different this year. Instead of teachers coming in on Monday and having that whole week to prepare, we're looking at coming in on a Wednesday, still having the 5 days. And what this did is help on the back side of things, not having us there too late, was as you'll see, we get into middle school November and even year, it really has a challenge. So the committee members that serve on here are Jen Covington, Melissa Pinkerton, Lisa Bailey, Melanie Kimber, Chad Gill, and Gigi Hayes. So we have a representation of both elementary and secondary teachers, admin, and parents. In September, we traditionally have that professional development day in September, kind of like we take a breath now, we start the school year, what we need to kind of take a look at, and we're able to maintain that same pattern. October, the professional development day is also statewide in-service day, which they brought back 2 years ago, and after much debate, then we come to November, which is a challenge in an even year because we're once again in that cycle. We got election day, return day, and veterans day all in the same weekend. So it doesn't allow spreading out of things. So on the 10th, that return day, that happens is the contractually obligated record day. The teacher have after the market period. So then we did something a little bit different. They're recommending something a little bit different for November this year. And that is the students being off the entire week of Thanksgiving. We would have parent conferences on that Monday, followed by professional development day. One of the things that the calendar committee discussed, along with, I believe, liaisons we brought to Dr. Nicholas Hartley's role and myself, was that the parent conference day is a Monday and it's a week before, that it tends to be a long week. So you try to pair it up where we can. Oftentimes, in November, we try to do it right before Veterans Day. And obviously, it didn't allow for us to do it when we only had a half day because you have to be off for return day. So we'll see how this goes. And have the feedback on it this year. Then, of course, first thing everybody wants to look at when this is out is when we start, when we finish, how much time we have off. So we worked through this, and then our business and I sat down and kind of talked through this some more. We really looked at it in a way the staff needs that break. We talked about mental health here earlier, with regards to how important it was for staff. And so the challenge in a year of Christmas is on a Sunday is how do you still try to get a nice size break in there for everybody? So we were able to bring the students together 19th to 20th, and we've done this past, we have to do 2 days. So what we kind of say is Thanksgiving until the 16th of December, we're very, very academic driven. So we'll get through, we get through the 19th to 20th, a little bit more of the celebration and everything that goes in. We would then be off, starting as soon as we off the 21st, with a professional development day, their time of day to end the calendar year, or lead into the next calendar year. And then coming in January, with New Year's Day being on a Sunday, we wanted to bring, give Monday off to everybody. And then that basically gives us 2 weeks time today when you look at what we have for vacation. So the challenge for Christmas on a Sunday, we were able to meet, we thought was good and was a target committee. Getting into January, again, February, we'll give the PD day on the 3rd. Half of that day will be the record keeping day. The parent conference, we did some different ways of doing this. Valentine's Day seems probably the challenge with the parent conferences. But we try to get in there. We did was back that up against later in the week against PD day. And then that makes a nice little break for our students. There in the middle of February, being off, or essentially, I guess before 5 days, get it. Coming to March, the very, very long month of March. And so last week was the professional development day off for the year 2022, and the same realm and everything, the PD day being in the middle of the month. We get into April. We have the end of the working period on the 5th, so we're working to make things work by the contract and record keeping day on the 6th. So the students get to start spring break a day early. And then we're on the traditional time of spring break with the PD days there at the end of April. And that is, Ms. Hagan and I sit down and kind of look through where we get the data. Mr. Page said very well, this data is really different. And we were able to put some data days back in the system this year. We want to continue it. We were very keenly where we did some of the PD. With that, coming into May, we have Senior Class Day, we're off Memorial Day, traditional Friday after Memorial Day, graduation, the last Tuesday on the 7th, and then a day and a half. And since there'll be no snow or anything to worry about, the last day Saturday will be the 9th. So as you see, one of the reasons of starting that 3 days earlier was to kind of trying to go into that next week and getting things so we're clear. Just so you know where I'm at, why we're at 169 student days, and we usually have to be about 171, which we were this year, but we'll take in consideration that we have with election day. And then the return day, that kind of shows you where we are. So it's kind of different. We have about 6 days built into the calendar for students in case of weather for K-11. And then for seniors, we have a little over 2 days built in. We have been very close on this the last couple of years. And we know we can, if we look back, we can move the students' last day if need be. So it does give us a little bit there. And the one thing that we did gain from the pandemic is the ability to synchronous piece. If we really get into something that we can do and help save on those days. So before we have 10 to 11 days that we build in, we kind of scale that back a little bit. So that is the calendar presentation for school year 22-23.
No, this is the ones approved by the Seaford School Board. We have to send this to the state.
Any questions? It's cold.
Or any of the new students.
Yeah, we'll that's why when we get this out of the table, this will be still out. Okay, I'm fine.
I think it is too.
I think that might be part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is joke.
Well,
Here's a little bit of a.
Okay.
Cover.
Oh, okay.
And Mr. Cave by left because we turned the air off.
Okay.
It was really good.
Yeah. Well, fine. All right, this is an action item to approve the 2022 23 school calendar as presented.
This is Garrett, that is our new the 2022 school calendar as presented.
Kim Hoskins, I'll second.
The motion and second to approve the 2022-2023 school calendar as presented. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. 7.07 is the financial report. Turn the floor over to Mrs. Bennett. Good evening.
So we are 66.67% of the way through our fiscal year. I believe you all have copies in yours. We will work on this time having it up on the screen. We've encumbered or spent $940,000 since the last month. Across all local funds, we have 66% of funds spent or encumbered. So we're really tracking something. Over the last month and a half, I have managed to go through their school budgets, the plans for the remainder of the fiscal year. Some of the funds is going towards field trips, teacher appreciation, supplies for the classrooms starting up for next year, bridge ceremony, graduation, and the like. In terms of our tax collection, I have really great news to report. We received in $91,817. This puts us over our revenue projection collection for this fiscal year. So we are right now at 101.08%. And you will also see that we are over last year. So both of those are very good. We continue to hold and not utilize any of our set-aside funds, which brings us to our revenue report. State funds, there really wasn't much movement in the last month. We did receive in just over $10,000 for transportation. In local funds, we received in $309,000, and the majority of that was for cafeteria funds. And in federal funds, we received an increase of $81,000, and that was part of the bus driver contract and pension that DOE in the state provided to the districts.
Any questions?
No question, just a comment. I just really like how you review this with us. Yeah. I just follow it along to the door.
Good job. All right, the recommended action is to approve the monthly finance report as presented.
This is from Hopkins. I move that we approve the monthly financial report as presented.
It's choice now.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the monthly financial reports as presented. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. 7.08 is early field. This is a topic that we've discussed several times in previous board meetings to put the sign out on Hurley Field, and there were 3 recommendations. Mr. Henry, you want to go through those again?
To talk about that, actually falls down there.
Sure.
So, as we said, the fence now is a concern of mine because it become walls that if you take it off the fence or the fence is replaced or anything like that. So, but this is the first option. It is the cheapest, $195 would be cost for that. This is the posted sign. This is my favorite anyway. it's highly visible. I think the community members are gonna be able to see it if they're passing by, driving by it. I think vandalism, you have less of a chance of vandalism there because the signs are higher. I did want to go on the recommended location would be on the north end of the practice field. So it would be down like Dow Stadium sign down in the football field. Hurley Field would be the same location, but it would be on the practice field.
Okay.
And the call for that $23. And the last one is the monument site, which I think is a lot of money for something you can't see. That's where I'm at with that one. So, any questions?
The thing I would say is I wholeheartedly with your
I recommend.
predictions or the recommendation. Anybody else? All right, this is an action item. Recommended action is to approve which signage you want to put for Pearl Field. So you include that in the motion.
Okay, this is there, says I move that we approve the sign option number 2 for the Hurley Field signs. This is Kim Hopkins, a second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the choice number 2 in the signage for Pearl Field. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Long range agenda. March 24th is Blaze Family Fun Night at 6 p.m. March 30th is West Cecil Family Math Night at 5:30 p.m. The third marching period ends on April the 1st. Schools will be closed to students on April the 4th. That is a PD day for staff. Professional development. April the 8th, Central Elementary Family Game Night at 5:30 p.m. April the 7th through April the 9th is the middle school spring drama play, Lion King Jr. April the 15th through April the 22nd, schools will be closed for spring break. And we will be back in the boardroom on April the 25th for Board of Education meeting. Does anybody else have anything to add to that long-term agenda? Seeing none. We do need an executive session tonight to discuss personnel matters and legal updates. So I will entertain a motion to move to executive session.
This is from Hopkins. I move that we enter into executive session for personnel matters and legal updates and student matters.
This is Troy, second. It's been moved and second to enter into executive session. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0, and the time going out is 7:22. I want to thank everyone for attending tonight. Very good meeting, a lot of good presentations. Have a safe evening. And it's getting warm.